You want to test an IoT solution in ThingsBoard. Maybe build a dashboard, validate a rule chain, or just explore what the platform can do.
But there's a problem. You don't have a physical device ready. Or maybe you do, but triggering a sensor fault or an overheating scenario on real equipment, not exactly something you want to do on purpose.
So what do? You use the ThingsBoard Device Emulator. It lets you create a virtual device in seconds, stream live telemetry, and interact with it almost exactly like a real device. Let me show you how it works.
First, log into ThingsBoard Cloud. Once you're in, look at the left navigation menu and find the Emulators section. When you open it, you'll see two main areas. On the left, the Emulator Catalog. This is a list of all available device types you can simulate. Each one represents a real category of IoT hardware, like agriculture, building, energy, or transportation, and also devices types. On the right, the emulators list. This is where all the virtual devices you've already created will appear. Right now, the emulators list is empty. We're about to change that. Let's browse the emulator catalog. You'll see device types organized into categories: industrial equipment, cold chain, logistics, and more. I'll click on Cold Storage Monitor. This is a good example because it has several interesting scenarios we'll use later. Each device type shows you a description and a list of available scenarios. These scenarios are the key thing to understand. They define what kind of data the device sends. Normal operation, door left open, compressor failure, and so on. We'll get to those in a minute. Now let's create an emulator. I can give this device a custom name, choose a starting scenario, and set a telemetry rate. That's how often the device will send data. For this demo, I'll leave the default name, select normal as the starting scenario, and set the interval to 5 seconds. That way we'll see live data appear fast. Now I click Create and Start. Within a few seconds, 3 things happen automatically. ThingsBoard creates a device record. The emulator starts sending telemetry, and a dashboard is generated and linked to that device. You don't configure any of that manually. It all happens in the background. This is the biggest time saver of the emulator. In a normal workflow, creating a test device, connecting it, building a dashboard, that takes 20 to 40 minutes. Here, it's under 30 seconds. Sometimes one device isn't enough. If you want to see how ThingsBoard handles scale, or you're preparing a training session with multiple participants, you can create several devices at once using bulk creation. Let me go back to the catalog, select Air Compressor this time, and choose Create Bulk. I'll set the count to 3 and the scenario strategy to random, so each device starts with a different scenario. I confirm, and within seconds, all 3 devices appear in the emulators list. If you set the telemetry rate below 30 seconds in bulk mode, the system will block the creation and ask you to increase it. For a single device, you can go as low as 1 second. Let me walk you through what you see in the emulators list for each device. You have the creation time, the current status, running, paused, or stopped, the active scenario, the telemetry interval, the last activity timestamp, and quick action buttons. There's also a direct link to the dashboard in the last column. Before we open the dashboard, let me quickly show you something important.
Even though this is a virtual device, ThingsBoard treats it as a real one. If I go to Entities, then Devices, I can see our cold storage monitor registered here. It has a device profile, a last seen timestamp, and live telemetry. You can use it in rule chains, assign it to customers, connect alarms to it, and if I go to Dashboards, I can see the auto-generated dashboard is there too. This matters because everything you test here behaves identically to a production environment. You can use this to do actual integration testing, not just visual demos.
Now let's go back to the emulators list and click Open next to our cold storage monitor. Here's the dashboard. It was generated automatically, it's already connected to our virtual device, and it's already showing real data. Live charts, current sensor values, a map if the device has location data, and a control panel on the right. This is a fully functional dashboard. You don't need to configure anything. You can edit it, share it with a customer, or use it as a starting point for a custom build. Now for one of the most useful features, scenario switching. I'll click on the Emulator tab here on the dashboard. On the right, you can see the device control panel with a list of available scenarios. Right now we're in normal mode. Let me switch to door left open. Watch the temperature chart. It starts rising immediately. The door is open, the cold air is escaping, and the sensor is responding exactly like a real device would. Now let me switch to sensor fault. The values go out of range. You'd see alarms triggered if we had alarm rules configured on this device. That's exactly the point. You can test how your system responds to abnormal conditions completely safely without touching any real hardware. Let me switch back to normal. Scenario switching is what makes the emulator genuinely useful for development. You can test alarm thresholds, rule chain responses, and notification triggers, all without a physical device. Still on the Emulator tab, I can also change how often the device sends data. That's the publish interval. Let me update it from 5 seconds to 30 seconds. The change applies instantly, no restart needed. For a live demo, 1 to 5 seconds gives you fast, smooth charts. For a background simulation you're running overnight, something between 1 and 10 minutes keeps your data consumption low. Here's a scenario you'll run into. You've just created a virtual device and opened the dashboard, but the charts are mostly empty because the device was only created a minute ago. If you're preparing a demo or a training session, empty charts don't look great. That's where Generate History comes in. Still on the Emulator tab, I'll click Generate History. A dialog appears. I'll set the range to the last 7 days, choose the normal scenario for that period, and click Generate History. The system fills in that data in the background. For 7 days, it takes maybe 10 to 30 seconds. While it runs, I can keep using the dashboard. One important thing. After generation completes, the dashboard is still showing real-time data. You need to change the time window manually. I'll click the time selector at the top of the dashboard, switch from real-time to history, and set it to the last 7 days. And there it is, a full week of realistic sensor data. The most common mistake here? You generate the history and then wonder why the charts are still empty. You must change the dashboard time window after generation. Let me go back to the emulators list. I'll click Pause on our cold storage monitor. The status changes to paused. Telemetry stops. The device still exists, all the data is still there, but no new readings are coming in. This is useful for simulating a device going offline temporarily, for testing rule chains or alert conditions. Click Resume, and data starts flowing again immediately. Everything picks up exactly where it left off. If you click Stop instead, the device fully stops, but it stays in your account and can be started again later.
When you no longer need a virtual device, you can delete it from the emulators list. One thing to know, deleting an emulator removes it from the emulator section. But the device record in ThingsBoard, under Entities Devices, may still be there. If you want a clean account, go remove it there manually as well. Here's what makes the emulator genuinely powerful. Because every virtual device behaves exactly like a real one, you can plug it into anything in ThingsBoard, not just the auto-generated dashboard. Let me demonstrate this using one of our air compressor emulators. I'll show you 3 things: building a custom dashboard, adding a calculated field, and wiring an alarm rule, all driven by the emulated air compressor. First, a custom dashboard. I go to Dashboards, create a new one, and add a time series chart widget. When I pick the data source, the emulated air compressor appears in the device list exactly like a real one. I select it, add the telemetry keys, pressure, temperature, and vibration, and the chart starts updating live with data from the emulator. Second, calculated fields. I open the air compressor device, go to the Calculated Fields tab, and add a new one. For example, a derived value like the moving average of temperature over the last minute, or a high load flag that turns true when power draw goes above 40 kilowatts. The emulator telemetry feeds the calculation exactly like real telemetry would, and the derived value becomes a regular telemetry key you can chart, alarm on, or export. Third, alarm rules. I add an alarm rule, trigger a critical alarm when motor temperature stays above 85 degrees Celsius for more than 30 seconds.
And what about the auto-generated dashboard itself? If you don't like the default layout, just open it, click Edit, and change it like any other dashboard. Add widgets, remove widgets, rearrange the panels, change colors. It's fully yours to edit, extend, or even delete.
The emulator is not a sandbox or a separate mode. Virtual devices are first-class citizens in ThingsBoard, usable in every dashboard, rule chain, and integration. That means you can prototype, test, and even prepare customer demos end-to-end without ever touching real hardware. So what did we cover?
The ThingsBoard Device Emulator lets you create a virtual IoT device in seconds. No physical hardware, no protocol configuration, no credentials to manage.
3 things to remember. First, every emulator creates a real device in ThingsBoard. You can use it in rule chains, alarms, and integrations. Second, scenario switching is instant and non-destructive. Change it anytime to test edge cases. Third, after generating historical data, you must update the dashboard time window manually to see it. Now, what would you like to see next? If you're curious about connecting the emulator to a rule chain, testing alarm conditions in real time, or anything else you'd want to explore, drop it in the comments. Whatever gets the most interest, we'll cover in the next video.
And if this was useful, give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. We read every comment.